Good lunchtime on the East Coast. Good morning on the West Coast. This is John Paval with Access Arts Live and your weekly roundup of upcoming live streams of the performing arts, which we have gone out and done research and found for you this week so that you don't have to do it yourself. We have got a great lineup going for you this week. We have 7 different concerts, 2 chamber music concerts, 2 symphonic concerts, 2 organ recitals, and at the end of the week, a boys choir down in Australia. So let's get to this right away and let me start filling you in on all these great concerts. 6 out of the 7 of these concerts, I'm happy to say, are free of charge, so you can drop in and watch them at no risk to yourself and say hello to us because they're all going to be live streamed on YouTube. And we will be there on YouTube under the name EU Arts Live, so you can check us out and say hello and let us know if we were the ones who got you to watch the live stream because you heard about it from us. Okay, starting right away already today at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 4:30 on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning in Europe, 9:30 in the morning Tuesday morning down under in Australia. The Bowdoin International Music Festival will be live streaming a concert on YouTube free of charge of the Turtle Island Quartet. Now, the Turtle Island Quartet is this terrific quartet that's been around for almost 40 years, since 1985. And it was founded by David Balakrishnan while he was an MA student at Antioch University West. And dedicated to an improvisational and compositional approach to chamber music as he understood it to have been practiced in the time of Haydn, when the string quartet was more or less invented. And there are commonalities between the way modern jazz musicians compose and improvise and the way musicians worked in that time, although it's not identical. There are similarities. By the way, when it comes to singing, if you look at the Swedish Nationalromantiker, the National Romantics tradition in the 19th century, they took enormous liberties when they were singing these Swedish art songs, along the lines of the way in an opera aria, sometimes they will take enormous liberties with the original score. So this is not unheard of in music. Anyway, okay, so what are they going to be playing? They're going to be playing a bunch of pieces composed by David Balakrishnan: Little Mouse Jumps, Island Prayers, Groove in the Louvre, Darkness, Dreaming, and The Second Wave. If you know his work and want to in particular hear any of it, they'll be playing a piece by Terence Blanchard called Turtle Trajectory, a piece by Rhiannon Giddens called Pompeii Ran Away. These are all very sophisticated titles. And then a piece by Jared Impey Cha-Cha-Cha Tate called Little Loxy. Little more information about this group. Cellist Yo-Yo Ma called them a unified voice that truly breaks new ground, authentic and passionate, a reflection of some of the most creative music making today. Worth tuning into, I would think, especially since it's free of charge. Then on Wednesday, the final chamber music concert of this wonderful Bowdoin International Music Festival takes place. I need to stay far enough away so I'm not crowding the screen on my computer. But anyway, they'll be doing, again, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 4:30 on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning in Europe, and 9:30 down under in Australia on Thursday, free of charge on YouTube. They'll do Villa-Lobos' Sonata for Cello and Piano, Vilmos Montag Sonata for Contrabass and Piano, and Schubert's Piano Quartet in A major, a very chamber music way to end a chamber music festival. There are, I could give you the list of the artists. I'm not sure how well you would know any of them. The one that I recognize is Denise Jokic, who will be playing the cello on the Villa-Lobos, along with Tahoe Lin on piano, because she's this terrific Canadian-American cellist who has been named as one of the 25th most influential women in Canada, and also as one of the most powerful women in Canada. So that's That's maybe somebody you want to hear playing. Now, in addition to these two grown-up concerts, the Bowdoin International Music Festival is also a music institute where these top players come in and then they train younger artists. So there are young artist concerts going on July 30th, which is tomorrow, Tuesday, on August 1st, which is Wednesday, and on August 2nd, which is Thursday. And you can find them on the YouTube channel. We don't have all the names of the people who are going to be in them or the programs they'll be playing. But if you want to discover some young artists at no charge, they'll be live streaming from 1 to 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and 7 till 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on both the 30th of July and the 1st of August. And then again on the 2nd of August from 1 Eastern Daylight Time till 5 Eastern Daylight Time. You can find all of those on their YouTube page. If you follow the links which we provide you in the comment section to get to that. All right, then we move on to our organ recitals on Tuesday and Wednesday. These also are on YouTube. They're free of charge. These are ongoing weekly organ recitals at the Riverside Church in New York City and at the Methuen Memorial Concert Hall in Methuen, Massachusetts. The Riverside King of Instruments recital this week is done by Alan Montgomery, who's the current director of music at the church on an interim basis. He'll be playing works by Saint-Saëns, Max Reger, J.S. Bach, and others. That organ recital starts at 7 p.m., but starting at 6:30 p.m., I'll give you more of the exact times, is a carillon recital on the world's largest carillon by weight, the Laura Spelman Rockefeller Memorial Carillon, donated to the Riverside Church by John D. Rockefeller in honor of his mother, Laura Spelman Rockefeller. And that is a wonder to hear, too. This is at 6:30 on Tuesday, July 30th, Eastern Daylight Time, 3:30 on the West Coast, 12:30 a.m. in Europe. Not too late to hear an organ recital for a half an hour, or carillon and organ recital. And then 8 in the morning in Australia, down under, on Wednesday. Who's Alan Montgomery? He's a guy who, when he was a kid, when he was like 16, he ran away to London to get real organ playing training, and ended up studying at the Royal College of Music in London, then came back, studied at Juilliard. He is currently the director of music at St. Thomas More's in New York City, and he plays that recitals all over the place. Now, that was a mistake. He was the director of music at St. Thomas More's while he was attending Juilliard. Now he's the interim director at Riverside. Sorry, this is live. We make mistakes. That's what I love about live. It's not fake, perfect television. Okay, then on Wednesday, July 31st, 7:30 in the evening on the East Coast, 4:30 on the West Coast, 1:30 in the morning in Europe, and 9:30 in the morning, breakfast time down in Australia on the next day, is the Methuen Memorial Concert Hall concert with Carina Brackin, who's got her learned how to play the organ first at the University of North Carolina, then at Notre Dame, and played at the Basilica of the Sacred Heart there. She's often played at the Spoleto Festival. She's currently the director of the Centenary United Methodist Church in Richmond, Virginia. She'll be playing what she calls something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, kind of the wedding description of things. Old music, new compositions, music based on chant and folk tunes, and some melancholy pieces and some joyful ones. She'll be playing a Buxtehude Preludium, Symphonie Gothique by Charles Marie Widor, Percy Whitlock's Plymouth Suite, a couple of pieces by Tate Pumphrey, who's only born in 1998. Piece called Prayer and one called Jubilate Deo. You know, these organ recitals do tend to get kind of spiritual. Trois paraphrases sur Veni Creator Spiritus, 3 paraphrases on Veni Creator Spiritus by Naji Hakim, who was born in 1955, still alive and kicking, I guess. And she'll finish up with Joseph Bonnet's Variation de Concert, concert variations. So we have 2 lovely pieces. We're not yet back online on Sundays with the Saint Eustache Church in Paris, because I think it's been disrupted by all the Olympics activities going on in Paris, and some limits on access to that location. All right, then we move ahead to Friday and Saturday, another summer festival called Classical Tahoe. And their last two concerts of their summer festival season. As we told you last Friday, Classical Tahoe is this great assembly of international and national top musicians that takes place in Tahoe, Nevada every Tahoe is in Nevada, the ski place in the wintertime, every summer. And they bring in, you'll see some of the top soloists and conductors they have that they're bringing in are really high quality people. And you get to view all this for free. And by the way, all these concerts, the Bowdoin International Music Festival is $49, $50 to attend these concerts, these recitals, and they're selling out. So you're getting value for nothing online. You can thank us later. You can thank us in the comments section on YouTube. Anyway, their concert on Friday, August 2nd, is at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which is 10 o'clock in the evening on the East Coast and unwatchable 4 in the morning in Europe, but a very watchable noon the next day, Saturday, in Australia, down under. It's Eric Jacobson conducting their Classical Tahoe Orchestra with Laura Hamilton on the violin as the soloist. They'll be doing what seems to be the ubiquitous Lily Boulanger's D'un matin de printemps, a spring morning. And this has been done in live streams from Europe and from Australia in the last couple of weeks because I've talked about it before. Lily Boulanger, she's the older sister of Nadia Boulanger. They both lived in the same apartment in Paris over near the Place de Clichy. And Lily died at age 24 after composing some lovely pieces like this and winning the Prix de Rome, which no woman had ever won before. So she was quite a talent, but she died young, sadly. Her sister continued for decades and turned down people like Gershwin and Piazzolla, both of whom went to ask her to help them. And she said, you guys got to keep doing what you do. I don't want to mess you up. She did help Copland, Aaron Copland, give him some training in the 1920s when he went to Paris. So they're doing Lily Boulanger's D'un matin de printemps, Vivaldi's The Four Seasons with a narration added on, and Beethoven's Symphony No. 4. Who is Laura Hamilton? Well, she was the concertmaster at the Metropolitan Opera House for associate concertmaster for like over 30 years. And she's been with the Chicago Symphony. She's the concertmaster of the City Music Cleveland Orchestra, which is one of those conductorless orchestras which are happening in the United States these days. It's another one in New York that did some live streaming recently. And she's also played down under with the Adelaide Symphony and the Sydney Opera House. So she's been around. Eric Jacobson, who's the conductor, is a cellist himself. He's been the music director of the Orlando Philharmonic for the last 10 years, just became the music director at the Virginia Symphony recently. He has recording projects going on to do things like record Rhapsody in Blue on the banjo with Bella Fleck. and he's also, he founded a chamber music group called the Knights, a very avant-garde New York City-based chamber orchestra. They're in residency at Carnegie Hall, so they can't be all that bad, can they? And they've got a long list of albums that the Knights have done together with people like Yo-Yo Ma and other top people. So that's Friday night, a great Friday night concert. Then on Saturday, August 3rd, at the same time, 7 in the evening on the West Coast, 10 in the evening on the East Coast, 4 in the morning in Europe, noon in Australia the next day, Sunday morning. It's again Eric Jacobson conducting the orchestra with countertenor, who's a huge sensation, Anthony Roth Costanzo, joining them. They'll be doing Ravel's Le Tombeau de Couperin. They'll be doing extracts from Vivaldi's Orlando Furioso. They'll be doing an extract Vengia Pure from Mithridat by Mozart. They'll be doing Sophisticated Lady by Duke Ellington in an arrangement by Morton Gould. And they'll be doing Strauss's Le Bourgeois Gentilhomme. Again, adding in a narration. I guess that's a thing they like to do. Who is Anthony Ross Costanzo? The New York Times says he's vocally brilliant and dramatically fearless. And Le Monde says he's a perfect musician. And they don't say things like that easily. So he's been performing. He's one of these wonders. He was a boy wonder, started performing when he was 11. He's He's currently a distinguished fellow, a visiting scholar at Harvard. He won the Beverly Sills Award from the Met Opera in 2020, Musical America's 2019 Vocalist of the Year. So, getting a chance to hear him for free. Hey, why not at least tune in and check it out? Because I guess you could call him America's foremost countertenor with rave reviews like that. Then we finish up on Sunday. The Australian Digital Concert Hall, oneword.com, will be live streaming the Australian Boys Choir in a concert called Mystical Songs. They'll be doing Britten's Hymn to St. Cecilia to start. They'll finish up with Rejoice in the Lamb by Britten. They'll be doing Vaughan Williams's 5 mystical songs and a piece by Alice Chance, who's a 30-year-old Australian composer, called Two Best Things. So a little old stuff, a little new stuff. They'll be joined by a former member of the choir, a baritone named Lachlan MacDonald. I hadn't heard of him before, but he's a composer and a conductor. He's a member of several chamber music singing groups in Australia, the best known of which is the Consort of Melbourne, but also the Fiore Chamber Music Orchestra and Polyphonic Voices. And he's the director of music at St. John's Anglican Church in East Malvern. If you look him up, you'll find that he's won awards for composing both for choral music and art songs. So he's a heck of a guy. So there's another great lineup for you. Again, now this one's not free of charge. On the Australian Concert Hall, this one is 25 Australian dollars, which is $16.50 in US dollars and 15 euros. And of those $25, 20, we are told, go directly to the performers, meaning the Australian Boys Choir, and I'm sure they can use the money. I was in a boys choir when I was a boy. We rehearsed 5 days a week. We had 60 boys. We had 40 men and a men's choir accompanying us. We did SATB. We did double S, double A, double T, double B sometimes. We did everything, and I tell you, it transformed my childhood. It's a fantastic thing as a boy to sing in a choir, especially if you have a great high soprano voice like I did. Anyway, that's what we have for this week. I want to remind you, we would love it if you would log on to our Facebook page so that this live stream can also be live streamed there. We were live streaming there, and then they raised the number of followers you need to have in order to live stream. So we're trying to gather up a few live streams. We would be eternally grateful if any of you who see this actually go over to Facebook and add yourself to our followers. Otherwise, we are live streaming on YouTube, on X, on Instagram, on Twitch, and one other place that does not come to my mind yet, but we're out there. And then we do replays of it on the other platforms where we cannot live stream yet, which would be TikTok and YouTube and Threads. And people like us on Threads. We got a lot of followers on Threads right away. We've only been there a couple of weeks. Anyway, we encourage you to tune into these live streams. We know there are millions of people around the world, tens of millions of people, possibly hundreds of millions who love the performing arts, opera, ballet, modern dance, choral music, symphonies, chamber music, theater, artistic circus, mime, you name it. And we know this because there are viral videos floating around with 20, 30, 40 million people watching someone improvise singing an opera aria or doing ballet. There's a Vivaldi clip that's gotten over 100 million views in a viral video on social media. So we know people love this stuff. We know that World Ballet Day, a 12-hour live stream every year in November, generates over 300 million views on social media a year. The audience is there, but only a tiny, tiny, almost infinitesimally small fraction of all these lovers are actually tuning in to watch the live streams that are being done, even though there are more and more of them being done. And if even, say, a fraction of them, 10% of them start doing that, well, they're going to transform the online presence of the performing arts, because more and more symphonies and opera houses and theaters and dance companies will start doing it because there will be an audience for it. And audiences means that you can find ways to raise money through sponsorship, who wants to get out to all those viewers, and or through data mining. So that's what we're all about. We have a vision of a world in which It's not a vision of a world in which you buy something on demand and then sitting all by yourself, you watch a recording and the artists are gone. They're dead. They've gone fishing. They're having dinner, whatever. They're not there. The rest of the audience, they're gone too. You're just by yourself with a dead thing, which is made to look like it's alive. Whereas when you tune into a live stream, you're part of something. Those artists are pouring out their hearts and souls for you while you're experiencing it together with everybody else in the physical audience and in the virtual space audience. And that's what we think we want to see. The vision is to have as much of that as possible. So that's why we're here. And if you like that, then follow us somewhere and repost us to other people so that they know about it and we can build up our followers everywhere. Thanks for watching. It's always a great pleasure for me to talk, no matter how many people are watching or not. I know there will be others who watch the replay. So ciao for now. Enjoy these live streams. Say hi to us on YouTube in the comment section where we're listed as EU Arts Live, our predecessor, if you log on and enjoy any of these sessions with us.